and he said, "Hey, maybe we do another company and we do something, smaller games because he knew I was so."
Strung
I was
out.
always frustrated by. I love art, but I was frustrated by how long it takes to make any object in general, and then it became the joke where for anything, like you want any object, banana, it takes forever. It has to go through so much
Yeah.
process, and then there's the LOD for the banana and the weight of the banana, and then like before you get your banana, you have to wait maybe months because it's taking at least 5 days, month, and it's somewhere in a list, and and the concept art must be done first. And so I think it was very compelling to think that we were going to make smaller games. And also, we were both fans of Ultima, the original Ultimas, and we thought, maybe we do that kind of thing, the more like an RPG, kind of like top-down, ISO, whatever. And you have a party, and of course it's going to be super interactive because that's the kind of thing we like to do. But because of the camera angle, we won't have to worry about art so much. And for that, it was true. The entire art was done by 3 people.
Really?
So,
Wow.
Yeah, so that was very refreshing for us because we had, not counting UI. Yeah, so 4 with the UI. But anyway, so it was great. It was, and then the itch came back because I think some of it is how we relate to the world and how people relate to us. Like, why this guy's not doing first person? That's what we want.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people talking about that. Yeah, and it was crazy to me because before I played the game, I saw like it looked just as reactive and just as immersive and just kind of. You'd be surprised like, if for anybody who hasn't played Weird West, like when you do play it, you're gonna be kind of like extremely surprised by the things you can do that you typically could not do in a game like that. You know what I mean? From grabbing a rope and putting it on a skylight and dropping into a building, grappling onto stuff, just things that are not in like a game from that perspective, pretty much ever.
Yeah, it's automatisms from us that we were kind of programmed to do that. So no matter the we would always eventually do the things we like to do and know how to do. So then that's why for the next game, I think once we were done with Weird West, which was the first game of the company, and gone through the full cycle of hiring and getting a publisher, shipping, etc., which is always super painful and complicated. Then we thought, okay, how about we back to what we actually really, really like and
right. Do you think that Weird West is, I don't know, still trying to find its niche? I guess. Do you think it did well enough for like a sequel or things like that?
At first, we wanted to do a sequel, and then I think we had so much doubt about is it worth it. It's we have all these people that are incredible at doing 3D levels and in first person, etc., that kind of game, and that's truly what they, no matter what, like even if we did it in third person, they were still already they were starting to add more polys and more detail everywhere, and I was like,
right.
The initial idea, which was to do something top down, cheap and 2D, failed miserably. Because then we already spent much more than what we thought we were gonna do on Weird West, and it looks like if we do Weird West 2, we're gonna be like almost at the same budget as what we would do if we were switching back to first person. Let's go back to first person.
Yeah.
And then
I feel like that's the reason.
Everybody felt like a huge relief. Where once this decision was made, we're like, oh my god, yeah, that's like what. That's why we
right.
So
I feel like that's the reason why it's. I guess those games are like immersive sims in general are not made that often, and usually are like passion projects or something someone really has to fight for because it seems like they cost a lot more to make, they take longer to make, and they require so many more intricate elements that it's just like it's always such a high cost, and usually the turnaround is lower than you'd like, because the curse of the immersive sim, it's hard to sell it, hard to market, I guess.
Well, we kind of broke the curse of the immersive sim with Dishonored, frankly, but
right, yeah.
And I think Bioshock broke the curse of the immersive sim, even though it's debatable if it's an entirely of an immersive sim or it's more like a shooter with depth. But and to your point about they cost more, it's not that they cost more, it's that they should cost more, but they don't.
Right.
Therefore, they often are very janky because of if we need to obtain the same level of polish as a normal game, that's very, very polished and very tested, then yes, those games would cost a fortune. So, and because at the same time, there's the curse, as you mentioned, the perceived curse anyway, where they're hard to sell. It's 1 in 10 immersive sim actually really works out. Then I think nobody is ready to spend the true, budget that should be allowed for these games. So, and in addition to that, they're super hard to make. They drive everybody's anxiety because when you work on one of them, the fun is you can only control it partially. You can only foresee partially what's going to be great about this game. And those games really rely on a sum of things, which is true for every game, but it's even more true for immersive sims. It's a big salad where everything matters so much, and at the end, it's the sum of all the experience that makes that experience. And so they're a pain in the ass. If you do that, it's really because you like them. It's
right. Yeah.
I don't think anyone would do it. The worst thing that could happen to the game industry is that if tomorrow the best selling games are immersive sims, then you would have all these teams that try to chase money, and they would say like, okay guys, we have to do the immersive how do you call it again, sims. I don't know why, but that would be hard because it's only a handful of people that really do them.
They're so reactive to hell. But they're so reactive and so unpredictable by nature because of all the like artificial intelligence used in a lot of things, and like the systemic nature of everything. It's just they're so complex. It was like when you guys were designing the mimics, and they were turning into objects that were way too big, or like they were doing things that nobody thought they could do, and it's crazy stuff like that.
It requires to work almost in the reversed way. You let the systems do their thing, and you let them break the game, which is like super anti. It's the opposite of what you want in a traditional game dev cycle. So it drives a lot of people anxious, and so I get it. But
it's still the best games though. So
well, it's the thing. It's like it's the best games for those who love that, right? It's and I was half joking when I said the worst thing that could happen to the industry is that if those games actually truly succeed, then you would see a lot more of them. People would try to extract what it is that makes those games so cool. But I think
it would lose its identity. I think it would.
Well, eventually, also, I think people would be blown away by what makes the identity of those games. The fact that you can go behind any door, or the fact that you can kill anyone, or those are values that people don't like to support, and they don't think they don't think that they bring anything to the table.
I think when a genre becomes popular, people tend to start reverse engineering it, and that their main driver becomes profit. So they start thinking, how can we monetize it and build a game around the monetization, rather than how can we make a piece of art and find a way to make money off it.
Pretty much everybody, I think, would be an immersive sim fan, even the people who seem like they're, oh man, that's just not for me. As long as it was like, if it was easier to explain it to some, like I feel like I have to sit down and write an essay and like to really get the point across as to what an immersive sim is and like why you should play it. So it's always difficult to explain it to somebody. I can't just be like, well, it's like this, or because it's not. There's so much more